When your mindset is blocked, it feels like you're standing in your own way. You set goals, but there's a part of you that resists them. You set rock solid plans only to later sabotage them. And even though you know exactly what to do, instead of executing, you procrastinate and overthink things and talk yourself out of action. Your own mind spins unhelpful narratives that keep you stuck in a loop of stress, overwhelm, and self doubt. And instead of effortlessly flowing towards your goals, every step feels like a battle against yourself. And no matter how good your strategy is, no matter how perfect your plan, if your mindset is working against you, it will block you from flow and gaining any real traction towards your goals. Now, a blocked mindset really boils down to two things. One, the stories you tell yourself, and two, how you connect with yourself. Your mind is incredibly powerful. Our thoughts shape our emotions shape our actions, and our actions shape our reality. And when you have the same thoughts over and over again, your mind starts to create stories. And these stories act like filters through which we see the world. And these stories are often a result of your external conditioning. The way you were raised as a child, the media you consume, and the people you surround yourself with. And these stories are riddled with assumptions, blind spots, limiting beliefs, catastrophic thinking, and irrational fears of failure. Take the hero's journey, for example. We glorify this idea that you must suffer and suffer to reach the top of your mountain where joy and triumph and fulfillment await you. But out of the 400 entrepreneurs I've helped exit their business, very few of them found what they were looking for at the top. Now, the hero's journey is just one example of thousands of stories circulating your mind that shape your decisions and actions every single day. But it's not just the stories you tell yourself, it's also how you connect with yourself. Because your mind, it's made up of many different parts. And when these parts are at war with each other, flow becomes impossible and burnout becomes inevitable. There's one part of you with big ambitions and endless ideas, and that's the one that sets the strategy and creates the plan. Let's call them the queen bee. And then there's another part of you that actually has to do the work day in and day out. Let's call them the worker bee. And these two parts don't always see eye to eye. The queen bee is the visionary, right? The one who dreams big, sets ambitious goals, and sees way into the future. She wants to build the hive, expand the empire, and make things happen fast. But the worker bee is the one actually doing the work. The worker bee is the one putting in the hours, executing the plan, and keeping the lights on. And while the queen bee is busy dreaming, the worker bee is the one carrying all the weight. And here's where the problem starts. The worker bee is exhausted, overwhelmed, overworked, and struggling to keep up. And when this pressure builds, the worker bee starts to resist. It procrastinates and rebels against the plan, and this is where the cycle of self-sabotage, burnout, and frustration start to begin. The queen bee keeps pushing, the worker bee keeps resisting, and instead of working as a team, you end up at war with yourself. And this makes scaling your business feel like you've got one foot on the accelerator and the other on the brake. The good news is your mindset isn't fixed. You can rewrite stories, rewire neural pathways, and get your parts working together as a team. First, identify which stories are holding you back. Write them down and ask yourself, where did they come from? Are they true? Are they helpful? What's a more helpful story? And remind yourself that most of your stories are relics from the past. They almost never reflect your present reality. Every time you challenge an old story, you loosen its grip on your mind. And every time you create a new story, you open the door to new possibilities. The second thing you want to do is end the war and get your parts working together as a team. The third thing you want to do is quieten that noisy, anxious brain of yours. When your prefrontal cortex is overloaded and your amygdala is overstimulated, stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and catastrophic thinking begin to take over. Even that part of you that procrastinates, hesitates, and resists, it usually has a really good reason for doing so. So give them a seat at the table as well and ask them what they need. At first, it's loud and distracting, but over time, you learn to tune it out. And through somatic awareness, you learn to drop into your body and return to homeostasis. And this is how you rewire neural pathways and build a mindset that propels you forward towards your goals. When you create new stories, unite your inner team, and calm the anxious chatter in your mind, everything starts to flow. You go from scattered focus to unlocking deep flow states. You go from overthinking every move to taking action with confidence and ease. You go from feeling exhausted and overwhelmed to feeling energized and inspired. And if you're unsure how to remove your mindset blockers, just shoot me a message or book a time with me and we can figure it out together.